Welcome to the world of gem media.
I don't get it. Welcome back to the Toybox. Today's entry is a first in two regards. For one, it's the first I needed a virtual machine to get working, and for another, it's not one that I directly played as much as the others. I mostly watched my mom play this, but I still got invested. There was one sticking point that still lingers to this day. This is an edutainment game revolving around reading and math. The intro is deceptively sci-fi, and the story is generic and inconsequential. Our MacGuffin of the day is the Mega Crystal, which provides power to an omnipresent machine that keeps planet Zaron alive. Someone sabotaged the machine and stole the Mega Crystal, and it's up to you to find the pieces of the machine and find out who stole the crystal. In a very 90s intro cinematic, you meet the Council of Zaron and their leader fills you in. This isn't a rendering error, by the way. His dialogue is completely out of sync.
I am Zaron, President of the High Council, and you have been chosen to save Zaron. You must search for the pieces of the Grecian machine, which are believed to be in ancient Greece.
I remember this happening back in the day, so this happened at the source. So you go through the credit roll, and the repetition of surnames just screams a family indie project to me. That's a lot of Starks. Tony has more family than I was aware of, but I have basically no knowledge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so things may have changed since this game came out. You pick your portrait, name your character, choose a difficulty, and then you're greeted by your robot assistant, Tin Can.
Greetings! Let me introduce myself. I am your temporal intergalactic navigator and computer-assisted narrator. You may call me Tin Can.
Don't expect to see much of him, though. He's not all that helpful aside from giving you your first clue. And with that, you're thrown into the main screen, an overworld view of Greece. Aside from your jetpack-equipped player character, the sci-fi aspect is basically sidelined at this point. From here, you have multiple places to visit on the map. You can meet figures of Greek mythology in the woodlands, Mount Olympus, the cave, the ocean, the rainbow, the forest, the temple, the sun, and Crete. Also of note are the ship and the temple of the oracle. Our first stop is the temple since our first clue points us to the boastful weaver, Arachne. This is where the reading part comes in. Unless you're well versed in Greek mythology like me, you're going to be doing a lot of reading to figure out who's who. Or you'll just cheat and Google it. Maybe Tin Can can be of assistance. Oh, that's helpful. Maybe it's a bug from playing on a VM, but I don't remember him being that useful anyway. The clues are often groaningly obvious for anyone with even a passing knowledge of Greek mythology on novice difficulty, but they get more obscure the higher you go. Like this one on expert difficulty. Go find the ones who buried Orpheus. Unfortunately, this one is made obvious in that it pluralizes your objective, and there are only two multi-character portraits in the whole game. Apollo and Artemis, and the intended answer, the Muses. Orpheus was a legendary musician of Greek mythology whose music moved all within earshot. After his loved one Eurydice passed away, he tried and failed to retrieve her from the underworld. After he was killed, either by beasts or by the Maenads, the goddesses of art buried him. Didn't know that? Then you're really gonna struggle with the clues on expert. Time to read up on your Greek mythology. We'll talk a bit more about difficulty later. Right now, our clue points us to Arachne, so that's where we'll go. Every character has a motif that plays when you visit them, and if they want something from you, a short cutscene plays. If they don't want something from you, they just stare at you awkwardly. Poseidon won't even come out of the ocean. After you meet them, you can offer nectar, gold, or whatever artifacts you have on hand. Arachne wants nectar, but we don't have enough. There are two ways to get more, and both have a catch. One way is the Oracle, where you can get nectar, strength, more clues, and gold. But getting nectar and gold are a crapshoot because the Oracle may just troll you and steal your gold instead. Bastard. I recommend rolling for nectar before rolling for gold. That way you'll have nothing to lose if you do get screwed out of nectar. To get another clue, you unscramble a name. It's always a character you can meet in the overworld, and some are easier than others. This one is long, but it's pretty obvious. Poseidon. Then you get a clue and an additional artifact to trade with. Get it wrong, and the Oracle berates you, but nothing else seems to happen. For the strength test, it plays a motif for you to match with the respective portrait. Get it right, and you earn strength and an artifact. Get it wrong, and you lose strength. You can only get up to 3 favors from the Oracle at any given time, and then it's unavailable for a while. Doesn't matter if you didn't use all 3. If you use 1 and leave, you can't go back for the other 2. Well, since we got screwed out of nectar, it's time to consult the scrolls in the Library of Alexandria. And this is where I come face to face with my greatest academic adversary. Math! I'm a writer and researcher by trade, but I haven't taken a math class in a bit over a decade. This alone is why I'm playing on novice difficulty. Oh sure, these equations are child's play at first, but the more you consult the scrolls, and you will be coming back here a lot, the harder they get. And Zeus, in typical Greek god fashion, can be pretty condescending sometimes.
Very good for a mortal.
But usually he roots you on, even if you screw up.
Super. I could not have given a better answer.
On novice, it sticks to the holy quaternity of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. No fractions, no decimals, just whole numbers. You can completely cheese it with a built-in calculator if you so choose, but the game encourages having a pencil and paper ready. I'm not here for the math, so you can just fuck right off with that. On expert difficulty, not only do you need encyclopedic knowledge of Greek mythology, lest every clue become a showstopper, not only do you get more portraits to choose from in the Oracle's strength trial, not only does your math proctor change from Zeus to Poseidon, but the math problems go from simple equations to algebra and geometry. Oh god. I was never great with math, and it's why I gave up on computer science once I got to college, and I really, really don't like having math problems in the middle of my reading assignments. Maybe they're trying to spice it up, but you quickly realize that these math problems are going to become part of the core gameplay loop. These scrolls are the only reliable way to gain gold, nectar, and courage. They're not even the only showstoppers you'll face in this game. So after doing some math on the scrolls, I gained more nectar and courage. You need sufficient courage to gain audience with the gods of Mount Olympus and Poseidon, or else they turn you away even if they do want something from you. Strength is a stat that exists. I mean, I know if you lose too much, you lose the game, but even the manual doesn't really go into what strength and courage are for. Either way, time to head back to Arachne so I can give this thirsty bitch her nectar. In exchange, she gives me arrows and tells me to seek the king with donkey ears. But first, we get a little cinematic. Here we see the classic tale of the Trojan War. Omitted are the death of Achilles when Paris' arrow strikes his tendon, as well as some of the Greek gods and goddesses getting involved, like Ares fighting for Troy before retreating like the chicken shit he is. When the Greeks bring in the iconic Trojan horse, the priest Laocoon is skeptical, so Poseidon sends serpents to kill him and his sons before they can warn anyone. But that's not shown either. The end of the cutscene kinda unnerved me as a kid when I watched Troy burn after the Greeks ambushed the Trojans from inside the horse. While true to the Iliad, you know what you don't see in this cutscene? Literally anyone leaving the burning city. Yet the Greeks survived. Probably out the other way or after the cutscene ends, since they give you a piece of the machine and a special clue. The pieces of the machine are the 4 elements: water, earth, fire, and air. The special clues tell you who's behind the turmoil on Zaron, and are the only other time you're ever reminded of the main plot. You'd be forgiven for forgetting that's why you're here in ancient Greece in the first place. Anyway, once you're done with someone, don't go back to see them again, or you'll lose strength. Sometimes they straight up transform if they don't want to see you, but it makes sense in the context of the respective myths. Arachne turns into a spider, in line with Athena's punishment for her bravado. Narcissus turns into the flower of the same name, a fate bestowed on him after spending the rest of his life staring at his own reflection in the water. Daphne turns into a laurel tree, just as she did to retain her virginity when Apollo wouldn't stop pining for her. Clytie turns into a sunflower, always turning to face the sun as she could never take her eyes off her beloved Apollo. They really did their homework. Unfortunately, you may run into this more often than you'd prefer, because the clues don't always help you figure out who to talk to next or who wants what. For example, our next clue sends us to Crete to speak to King Midas. But we don't have what he wants yet, so off we go. But whoops, we've been cut off by a harpy. Yeah, occasionally some mythical creature stops you in your travels, and you have to decide how to deal with it. Whether it's the Harpy, Hydra, Cyclops, Colossus, or Trojans, you're given 4 options for how to proceed. You can fight them, talk them down, transform, or retreat. Retreating is a bad idea because you're guaranteed to lose strength and courage. I seem to remember transforming being a bad idea even if it does work, so that leaves us with fighting or talking. Strength and courage may factor into your chances of success, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's talk to the Harpy.
Oh, I just love your helmet.
Yeah, I sure made a compelling case there. Oh wow, it actually worked. And I get the harp from the Harpy. That's a funny coincidence. Midas doesn't want it, so the Oracle tells me Pan wants nectar. But I don't have enough, so it's back to the Library of Alexandria, but not before getting set on fire by the Hydra.
That answer is worthy of the gods.
Jesus, Pan is one thirsty satyr. The next clue takes us to Hermes, but he doesn't want anything I have. I should point out, there's no rhyme or reason for who wants what. It's completely random every time. So that means trading is a game of trial and error. How compelling. Screw this, I need another clue. Luckily, the Oracle delivers the goods by straight up telling me Zeus wants the olive wreath, which I do have. Feeling sufficiently courageous, I present myself to the King of the Gods.
Respect the presence of Zeus.
Visit the son of Zeus and Hera? That's a little vague. They have a bunch of children. Although Zeus is unfaithful, to say the least, so that narrows it a bit. We're already here, so let's go see Ares.
This had better be important, for I am Ares, god of war, and short on time.
Short on interest by the sound of it. The voice acting in this game is all over the place. Some of it is decent.
I am Aphrodite, goddess of all that is beautiful. Of course. What brings you here?
Some of it is phoned in.
I am Iris, goddess of the rainbow. What is it that you seek?
Some of it feels like the actor didn't have the range they thought they did.
It's refreshing to see someone other than that fool Apollo.
Ares sends me to the Muses, but first, time to watch Bellerophon kill the Chimera. That's another piece of the machine, and another special clue. There are a few other cutscenes like this, like Theseus killing the Minotaur, Jason killing the dragon and retrieving the Golden Fleece, and Perseus killing Medusa, whose snake hair looks more like seaweed. These cutscenes just scream 90s. There's also the Sphinx's riddle, in which you take on the role of Oedipus to solve it. If you do, which you will, since it's the same answer every time, the Sphinx doesn't know what to do and kills herself. Just like the myth. It's kind of adorable to watch the fanfare you get from leveling up as well, since leveling up doesn't really seem to have much tangible impact. And yet they all seem so happy and celebratory about it. This game is very much a product of its time, and the graphics haven't really aged all that gracefully. Yet there's a certain corniness to it all that makes it so memorable, maybe for all the wrong reasons. The impotence of your player character's attempts at persuasion make it that much harder to take any of this seriously.
I do believe my laser is more powerful than your club. Move away and let me pass.
I can only laugh when they actually work.
Oh, most unusual creature. I really need to be on my way.
But then again, some of these characters in cutscenes are downright unnerving.
What brings you here?
Ugh. God, that guy's a creep. Others are disheartening. Whatever he wants from me, I don't think he'll have much use for it where he's going. Was I supposed to meet him in Hades and give it to him there? Eventually, you'll run out of leads because of redundant clues or missing artifacts. You don't know who wants what, or even who wants to talk to you in the first place. It can be hard to keep track of everything, but you do at least get a log of clues that you've gathered. That only gets you so far if you lose track of who you've already squared things with, so keeping notes really helps. Even then, it turns into a guessing game, and you lose strength every time you visit someone who doesn't want to see you. Enemy encounters may end up with you being conquered, so you may miss out on the artifact you need, and you lose strength. And if you lose too much strength, you lose the game. You're practically required to save scum if you want to keep your strength up. Save the game, go around to see who wants to talk and who doesn't, then reload your save and act accordingly. But is that really how you want to play the game? Is that really how they intended it? The Oracle may help, or you may get more redundant clues. I wasted a whole lot of time on my playthrough trying to figure out who I was missing, only to finally realize I never settled things with Midas. Even with my cluelessness, I'm really not a fan of this kind of guess and check gameplay. I doubt it's what they intended, but it's kind of inevitable the way they designed it. This isn't exactly Return of the Obra Dinn we're talking about here. And as nice as the overworld music is, it really gets irritating hearing that first note or two every time you switch locations. But you know what's funny? Even with all that putzing around, I still cleared the game in under an hour. Though that can be attributed to playing on novice difficulty and being reasonably well versed in the subject matter, coupled with using a calculator to skip all the math. Unless you have encyclopedic knowledge of Greek mythology, or Google Finesse, and a scientific calculator at the ready, Expert will keep you busy for quite a bit longer. The clues and math problems are proper showstoppers there. Not to mention your risk of failure being higher because your strength and courage don't get the safety nets you have on Novice. Once you finish trading with everyone, you're given a final puzzle. Choose the corresponding labor of Heracles, as proclaimed by King Eurystheus.
I, King Eurystheus, demand that you clean the Augean stables.
The higher the difficulty, the less specific he is. And I gotta give him credit for this one. They actually called him Heracles, not Hercules. Disney got it wrong, and Santa Monica got it wrong. If you pick the wrong labor, it's game over. Your player character is stuck in Greece forever. Get it right, and you watch Heracles perform the labor. Then he gives you the final piece of the machine and the final special clue. The clues highlighted in red are the ones you need to pay attention to for the final decision. Because guess what? It's finally back to the whole plot point that kicked off this expedition to ancient Greece in the first place. I bet you forgot about that by now.
Wait! I know where the Mega Crystal is!
Amazing. Where?
One of the members of the council is a traitor, and you need to use the special clues to figure out which one it is. Accuse the wrong person, and you lose.
Fishhook? Is this true?
No, I did not do this. This is insane.
Honestly, it's kind of funny how abrupt these endings are. Oh, you accused the wrong guy. Well, them's the breaks. You lose. Fuck you. Yet some of the clues are just a little deceptive for my liking. The traitor has horns. Actually, the traitor has one horn. But if it told you that, I guess it'd make it too easy to narrow it down. Either way, this is our traitor this time.
Narwhal? Is this true?
So what are you gonna do? Stop me?
Actually, that's exactly what they're gonna do. Bye-bye. With the traitor gone and the machine restored, you get a long, drawn-out sequence of Zaron being restored to its former glory. It quite literally comes back to life as a volcano violently erupts, a sign of tectonic activity resuming. Nice touch. Seriously, this whole cutscene is like 5 minutes long. I'll spare you. The water's restored, plant life returns, the fauna come back. This thing does a thing? I don't know what the fuck that's all about. And they really drive the point home with this alien geology as this volcano spewing blue lava or something comes back to life. And that's the game. The replay value comes in the form of different figures to speak to, different trades, and a different trader every time.
Because the Gratian machine was once again reunited as a whole, Zaron was saved, and it soon returned to the beautiful planet it once was.
There really is potential in this game, if not for the fact that parts of the gameplay are showstoppers for all the wrong reasons. Then again, that could just be my hatred of math speaking. So that's one edutainment experience down, and really, the only thing I've learned from it is that math and mythology go together like Icarus and the sun. Or Persephone and Hades. Or Zeus and Hera. Well, in any case, I hope you learned something today. Because on reflection, I sure as hell didn't. Back to the library at Alexandria for me.